The original PlayStation has no shortage of racing games that find a home on the platform, with many of them ranging from high quality entries. But there would also be some lesser known titles that, for all intents and purposes, that are playable, but they would be considered decent but yet in many cases mediocre, often considered as budget titles more to the point. An A2 racer, Europa Tour, is technically one of these titles, which was released on the PlayStation and Windows PC in the year 2000, that would have been developed by Davalix. That is technically a street racing vehicle simulator where you're tasked with racing across different locations ranging from various cities all over the European region, with London, Berlin, Vienna among many others. We will conduct in illegal street race events that will take you through many different highways and city locations where you'll have to avoid other types of traffic and also the cops that will stop at nothing in order to take you down. But along the way you will also be able to acquire various power-ups, time extensions and even money, which you will need to further upgrade your vehicles that you'll unlock as you play. Now, there isn't a large selection of vehicles in the game, but there is some unique aspects with different handling characteristics and features that will appeal to different types of players. When the game was released, it got fairly decent yet average reviews in most cases, and this game would also fall along the same line or lineage of other types of racers that would have been released on the PlayStation and PS2 and the like, with the likes of the London Racer series, even US Racer, among a few others. So they're all technically from the same types of developers pretty much. Now, graphically, when you compare it to other racers on the system, yeah, it's not up to scratch, really it isn't, and the heavy rubber banding from the AI can definitely cause a lot of hassle, as in many cases, at least until you further upgraded your car, especially in the early stages, cars can literally just pass you whenever it suits them, so that will add to the level of frustration that you'll find as you race through all of the events. Now, for what it does offer, it's a straightforward racing game. You pick an event, you race, you try to win, earn money along the way, use the money to upgrade your vehicles, and you have different tournaments that will allow you to progress even further, that will even take you as far as other areas outside of the European region. In some cases later on in the game you'll end up racing in the USA, in the likes of Las Vegas. All in all, for a single playthrough, it'll roughly take you anywhere between an hour maybe to 2 hours of playtime in order to get through all of the races, but that's only if you're playing really with one car. Really, to get the most out of the game, you'd want to try and play it with every car in the game. Now, that may not suit everybody, but it will appeal to a select few. Now, while not everybody liked these games back in the day, and in many cases quite naturally, because when you had the likes of heavy hitters with Gran Turismo, there was Colin McRae Rally, Formula 1 games, like there really was a boatload of racers. You'd have to think that these games really were incomparable to them, which they weren't in many ways, but they definitely still appealed to a different variety of players that were looking for something different. Yes, they were never going to be as good as those games, that's plain to be seen, but if you genuinely like racing games, at least there was titles that were there that did appeal to a different dynamic. And again, the PlayStation really did have an abundance available. It's not a game that'll be for everybody, but if you like these more lower budget style entry games that were released on the system, this is another one that you can check out. Plus, if you're just into racing games like myself, there's no reason why you shouldn't play it. Yeah, it's frustrating at times, it can be a bit tricky, but it's like everything else. When you put a bit of time into it, you gradually start to get to know it a wee bit better, and you start to even somewhat enjoy it in many cases. It really is up to you at the end of the day. But regardless, it's a simple game, it has a simple premise, there's no airs and graces about it, it is what it is, it doesn't try to be anything it's not. But whatever your thoughts are of this, I would love to hear it, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you would like to see more content around other unusual and quirky style games like this that were also released on the PlayStation, then I have a playlist here on screen with even more games to explore so that you can see them in action. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.